All right. Gratitude and grand rising. Shay Seeking or Shalonda to those of you who know me personally. um, and yeah. So I don't know. I picked this here image here, right? So I'm working on some stuff right now. Um, about to get later on. I hope before I fall asleep, I can get into the Book of Enoch. But it's just something that I feel came into my feed, right? When I say feed, it could be an abundance of things. Something I scrolled by, something that just came to mind, a download. It could be an image that I saw. It could be just a message, a divine message. Well, not. But I noticed there's like a sense or an energy of some type of shift right now that many people are not aware is going on. Okay. In high places, again, or we're getting they want us to have the perception that something like this is going on. And I can't help to think that there's something going on where they're trying to vilify certain people. So if you're one of the targeted individuals, gaslighted individuals, again, like I said, some of this is just a divine way, right? No, some of this is just a way for your messengers or whatnot, and some could be from coming from a good positive place, and some could be coming from a negative place. But I just want to say I'm always trying to come from a neutral place. I'm always trying to come from a place of truth, a place of, it may not be what everybody sees at the surface, but I dig deep on what I'm doing. I meditate and sit there I won't even say meditate. I sit there and I simmer in things. And I feel like I've been sitting in this sunroom for about 6 hours. Like, I just can't even really move today. Really. Well, first of all, I think I broke my toes, 3 of my toes. I'm messing around last night, And then, secondly, I just been taking something in. I've been taking a lot in, listening. And I just feel like there's a vilifying, right? And again, I was looking at, I was wanted to know more about the fallen angels, and I came across Azazel, and how in one part of the storyline, I guess they're saying that he had gotten a pass to go into heaven, and then he did something else or said something, and then he was falling again, and that I can't remember who else it was, but somebody. Oh, it seemed as though this energy has something to do with not siding with Satan, but maybe sympathizing. And I remember a couple of weeks back, I did something where I said something about, villains, and how some people can sympathize with villains because, they feel like, again, this is how they've been treated by society. Even when it comes to the show Lucifer, if you really read between, I know it's just a television show, but if you really read between the lines, and if you really read into the biblical text, I mean, like I said, it just, is what it is. Like, I'm trying to, but we just ask honest questions here. And since we know that we live in an upside down world, it's good to ask questions, is what I'm going to say. It's good to weigh and measure the things, right? Because I'm looking at the fact that most things that, and it's like almost like, again, discern. I don't just go off what people tell me. I don't go off the religion. I always go against the grain because I think I was built that way. I think it's a part of my purpose to unravel things, right? And so when you speak on certain things, like as a whole, like church, congregations, when you talk about certain issues of governing forces, They have the power to turn you into what they want the people to see you as. Even though, right? Though, again, some of this energy will keep you confined and keep you isolated and keep you in a certain way, shape, form, or fashion, right? Same time, it is to keep you that way so people don't really get to hear your word, right? But you know that very powerful people are listening and paying attention. And they will take what you say and turn it into what they want to turn it into to make you and vilify you and turn you into something that you're not. So again, you would have to think, if someone wants to make it seem as though something was evil, as to those of us that are speaking truths and uncovering mysteries and lies from generation after generation, if you're telling the truth now, right, and you're overturning the lies that we have been educated with, then you would be vilified. It would almost turn you into what they want people to think is a satanic individual, when it's really speaking truth. It's really speaking truth. And you can either go within and find your core and connect to your particular God, whatever that would be, or you think it is. Or you can go with this construct has you thinking that it is. And this is how they get people that are in some type of movement or community, right, to go against certain people so that they can then consume them. And it sounds as though someone is nagging or someone is always complaining or they're always, but again, just because on the surface things look some kind of way, if you're not digging deep enough, we're going to really miss a lot of things that could help us not repeat the same mistakes that our ancestors made. And that's why it's important to listen to the ancestors and guides and again, whatever you will consider to be source for you. So they find key factors about someone and then start building the case. Lots of things we think we see and we know in that text, the biblical text and other texts, some things have been reversed. So again, it would be up to the people to discern what you think it is someone is doing. But if someone, again, would be one that has gone up against certain corporations and what they supposedly stand for, certain governing forces and what they stand for, the church and all these, you see people get real uptight and real upset about it real quick, because they want to put a blanket on things and they want to, also they call him a scapegoat. So that also means that basically compile all the sins of whoever and put it on this person's head. And again, I'm just using this again in a way and sense knowing that I'm most likely most of the time coming from a good place that may be bad to this particular type of world that we live in, because again, certain people want to keep certain positions of power and keep you dumb. So watch out amongst the communities and groups and see. It's usually the most passionate people that are fighting the hardest with it seems to be no type of, support in your, most of the time these people are black sheep of the family, the ones that, have come. We know who we are. We are the ones that we've been waiting for, and we have a purpose. And when you talk about that purpose, and a lot of people will start getting bothered by it because it's messing with, and most of the time it comes down to money. If you think about that, right? You messing, in a sense, you working for source, right? Right? But you messing with a system and a construct that a lot of people is going to be upset about. And there is time limits and times to when these things can be argued freely, and then when the people are going to be persecuted, right? So again, I feel like some of this, is to get us to bend or fold in a sense. And they're watching closely to make sure you don't go back to your old ways and make it seem like old ways are not the good ways, or you should move on from those ways and start doing something else when really you're on the right track. really you're connected to source in that way where you know exactly what time it is, but nobody wants you to speak on it. They don't want you to be heard, and they don't want it to be spoken. And I look at this and say, oh my goodness. Sometimes I have to stand there and look back at this journey and say, wow, especially the past couple of months, having new experiences with messengers and things like that, where in an increased way of seeing. When I think, why would source, they're going to say Satan has a way to, show signs and wonders and things like that, but again, so does source. But if it doesn't match what the construct wants it to sound like, then they vilify it and turn it into what Satan would be. And again, many are called, but only few are chosen. Because only few are going to be able to stand. And I look lots of times like, man, it's almost like you've been dropped off in the middle of the jungle with a blindfold on. And at the same time, there's no fear. There's no fear. You're concerned, my number one concern also is just offending source. Did I go too far with this? You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering. Let me know. But to fear anything in this worldly realm, I think that it is a very courageous thing for people to do, especially knowing that you're being silenced. And, people will try to act like your information is not it. But at the same time, they're listening. They're talking about it. They're combating against it. Why are you watching? Most of the time, these people are people with millions of people in their congregation. I hear them. I see them within hours of things that I put up. I'll have 5 views or something, but I can just see. Sometimes I don't even know how these people wound up in my notifications, but it's there. And they know that your crowd is smaller. And they'll make it seem like your crowd is smaller, right? They're not gonna say no names or nothing, right? They don't want nobody to come see what you're talking about, right? Yours is smaller because it's not beneficial to God. And I say, which God? Which God are you talking about? Are you talking about the God of this world that we've been breaking down again on this channel for a very long time? Or are we talking about source? That's my question. Which God we talking about? We going to keep on talking about in the church like we don't know that Bible say that there's different gods? We going to act like we don't see in them scriptures that we talk about different God, and people will say, oh, there's only one God. Anybody saying that and all this other stuff? No. Well, then I don't know what's going on with you, but what I'm reading that text, we talking about separate gods. See? So everybody can run around here and act like we're not saying specifically sometimes not this God, but that God. We're going to act like ye aren't gods. See, we're going to act like the Lord thy God is the same thing as God. Well, why we got to put thy on it? See, and this is what I'm saying. So this is why it's going to be some trying times for those of us who are still going to stand in the truth. Who are going to be in the word. Who are going to be having a connection with source. And those are going to be the people that are going to be misunderstood and underrepresented. If that's even a word. I can't remember if that's how it is. Right? So, there's definitely this energy, this spirit of vilifying. It's time. They want to try to, and again, and I think it's because they know they have a little time. They know they have a little time. I can't help it. I can't help it. Do I want to be one of those people that's going to be crucified? Do I think that? Yeshua or Yeshua had a choice sometimes that he didn't really have to be crucified? Sometimes. And I say that in this consciousness, in these days, some of you will be too. Now, it may not be a physical death. It may just be cut off from being a nation. It may be, and that's what I'm saying. Just be very careful in these times. We know what's right and what's wrong. You don't need to go to church to know that. Again, it's been the same old, same old. People been in church for how long? You see what I'm saying? You've been there for how long? But somebody comes saying something different that make a little bit more sense and vilified. Vilified. Because it seems as though there's a barrier there. Is what it seems. And they feel like they can get to you before Elohim. They also want to have us stumble and try to block up and clog up our words, right? Try to cause fear or some kind of commotion around things that we speak. Or some kind of blockage again there. Because they fear that these groups are going to try to vilify so-called women. And all I'm saying is that we just need to be aware of this type of behavior. It's here. So again, just be careful of things that try to lead you towards worldly possessions. And turn you into someone who participates in cold-hearted things that will divide you from people that are speaking truth. You may not like everything about them. You may not love the message, but you know that it's in righteousness. It may go against what the religious aspect is or what education system has taught you, but you know what's right and you know what's wrong. And I am just not one of those people. Again, and I'm a very pleasant person. You know, they try to, you know, because they have an insight. And again, I don't care what it is. Even if there is another energy here, you better be careful of what you putting your energy into. There's other energies here too that can link up, connect, and also communicate to people on certain levels in a group mentality. But is it organic? Is it organic? And it's going to be the most loving, caring people that have been built for this, that I'm afraid they are going to use to turn into the scapegoat or whatnot. You know, I don't play games. That's the thing. I'm not here to play no games. I'm solid at what I'm talking about. There's no reason why, again, certain people will be put in certain positions. You know what I'm saying? And that's when people say, oh, well, God know my heart. Well, again, he know what I've been talking about for the past 4 years, the past 10 years. Diligently. Like my whole page turned into just that. Instead of me posting about myself, it's been about that. And again, I feel like in these times, those of us that have been chosen and have such, somewhat of a purpose, I feel like, why am I here with this purpose? Why am I here with this portion of what I feel like would be the plan? And if I'm still doing the same thing somewhat, but in a different way, just a little bit more ascended, I guess, in a way, things are a little bit more clear, then what does that mean? What does that mean? So, I guess I say all that to say, just be careful. Look out for those, that are coming with some type of message that may not be. And I feel like, I look around and I'm thinking, well, damn, everybody about getting money and everything now. Again, you need that. You need that. I'm never speaking about anybody's pockets in that sense. But most of us, again, and I hope that we are investing that in something, I guess, that would be something that could be made to be generational wealth for your families, not just to purchase more things. So, again, it's not actually the money, right? I mean, in a sense, right? It's not actually the money, right? I guess it would be what you would be doing with it. If it's to buy more things, then, or worldly things, then again. And if you believe in the text, again, if you don't, that's fine, right? I'm not even talking to you. But I'm talking to those people that say they read their Bible, say that they know this and that they love God and all these other things, but I can't see how you're reading this text right now and seeing these moves that's being made on this plane and you don't have some questions. So there's never anything wrong with that. I'm not even talking about blocking on nobody's hustle or nobody's money. I'm not even commenting on nobody's pockets in general, right? I'm just saying anything that takes the attention of the people and lead them on the, the fast pace, especially in times like this, to obtain a certain amount of wealth to spend it on, again, worldly things. You can spend your money on whatever you want to and not consider what's really going on here. Just like the prick. See? Just like the prick in the whole demic. That's another one. Common sense will tell you one thing, but social media and the news will tell you another. Source will tell you one thing, but those other things will tell you another. Discernment will tell you another. And all this time, distraction. Weapons of mass distraction. They are. All those things, climate change, all that stuff, it has to do with you. It has to do with you. It all has to do with you. It's all allegorical, symbolic to you. And it's just, again, I say question everything. I say question everything. Why would somebody even have the need to want to be so deep into information about you or expose certain things about you? Whose business is it of someone's, regardless of what they're saying this is? Why would, in a time when there's supposed to be healing and other things going on in nations, why would someone who is supposedly about love, a God that would be about love and about preserving his people, be using certain platforms to expose, or entities to expose his people? So which energy are we talking about? The one that would be upset with people that will target this worldly realm because they are so comfortable in it, because it works for them? Or would it be one that will be coming to bring destruction to the world for the way that it's treating the people of the world, the fatherless and these other groups? And it's always that way. It seems like it's always that way, but again, someone will make you want to think it's not this time. And it may not be this time for some of you. I'm just saying, pay close attention, because I see a sense of division, especially when it comes to divine masculine and divine feminine, in that light, just in general. Some of it is about temptation, and some of it is, really something that's supposed to be, it's something that may be written, right? That's going to occur when it comes to these types of spiritual connections. So it could have you compelled and conflicted, because especially when you want to do right, especially when you one of them, sons or descendants of God. You're going to be tested. I was just thinking about thou shalt not tempt the Lord. And there was another verse that God does not tempt. I think it was in James. And I want to say it was tempt. That he doesn't tempt. So if anybody say that they were tempted, I think it was the word tempt that was used by him, then that is not the case. See? So anyways, I think I just wanted to speak on that. And again, it's just it's funny because I feel like when it was such a prominent thing that was being spoken, but again, that leaves, it's almost like a eerie sense of like, shh, everybody be quiet. Let's just let this one person be saying this stuff so this person can be the scapegoat or the sacrifice or the crucified, right? Because again, some people are laying in bed with some of these energies and entities. They're getting something. Keys to the kingdom, if it goes that way, something that actually would really belong to those particular people that are being treated this way. Those very elect. They're going to get it from all different areas. And again, the distraction or they're being distracted on a level that you wouldn't even understand if you weren't walking in their shoes. So you wouldn't understand why they're not doing certain things or don't have any type of ties or connections. It's being done that way. So, again, for me, it is what it is. It is what it is. you know? So I'm chilling. I think I'm about to stop doing videos for that. I do want to just go ahead and read something. And oh man. And see, that's the thing. So, you know, it's just like, such a shame. Like, because like it could be like for me, it's like one of the most amazing times in my life, you know. But since the whole world is like, I feel like 90% of the world is seeing things like in a crooked way, almost like it just makes you be like, wake up, you know. It's just like, what, you know. And you know, not to say that my way is the right way all the way, you know, but what I'm hoping is that we're just spreading some type of seed, um, that will take root at least, um, and then also maybe have someone that will take that and plant it and nourish it, and they will come out with a more beautiful and bigger tree than you even had. And I call that giving life, in a sense, where everybody can participate, or again, those that are called. But let's just watch out for the fact of what we know. We think that there's a new thing being done, but there's also supposed to be a new world order, right? So again, we just have to be careful to pay attention to signs and symbols to make sure that there's not something that is maybe a more idolized version of what it's supposed to be, instead of what it was naturally supposed to be. See, to make sure that you're not being bamboozled, because we got our eyes set on certain things that make your eyes get real big and make you get all, you know, lose your footing. So I think that's it. I think that's it for now. Again, I guess I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And take care.